Yes, assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you so much for joining our first Pak AgriTech monthly meetup. The intention of this meetup was to ensure that we get the different representation from different segments connecting the agri-tech vertical in Pakistan, which is the academia, startups themselves, financial institutions, then there are the government bodies, the corporates, and of course, none the least, the progressive farmers themselves. So this will be like a monthly session. It's going to be a monthly meetup where we will have a couple of presenters from different domains. Today we have Shoaib Siddiqui, a progressive farmer, Zain Qureshi, startup in the financial sector. Zarak is also a progressive farmer promoting his hydroponic solutions, and then of course Naveed who happens to be from who's also a precision farming startup company. So anyway, the sequence, we will start off with Zarak, we'll go to Shoaib Siddiqui next, third is Zain, and the last one will be Naveed, who will be presenting. Okay, so with that being said, I'll hand it over to Zarak, if you can get started.
Right. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope मेरी आवाज आ रही है. I hope you can all hear me. So मेरा नाम ज़रक है. मैं farmer हूँ for the past 10 years and for the past 4 to 5 years I've been dabbling in hydroponics in Pakistan. मेरा खुद ताल्लुक बनू से है and for the past 3 to 4 years हम लोग बनू में ही hydroponically सब्जी उगा रहे हैं. So before anything else, a little bit of what I've done and some of my career highlights. When I first started, was something I've really enjoyed doing in the past 10 years is converting 100 acres worth of terrible landfill quality land into productive land. And ये हमने कोट का कमर ज़मान खान में किया. I also worked with the military in Waziristan from 2015 till 2018. जिधर हमने farmers को rehabilitation की, and I helped design some state level interventions after that. Have some honors, have some, I've worn a number of hats these past couple of years. So before the reason I picked this topic today, KG, I don't want to talk about the company, I don't talk about what I do, but hydroponics, something which I'm a fan of, is kind of like लोगों को hope है उसमें कि जी इतना ज़्यादा पैसा है, इतना ज़्यादा खर्चा होगा, ये business model ऐसे है, XYZ. I just want to kind of address those myths and kind of tell you this experience that as someone who's worked in the supply chain, as someone who's a grower, as someone who's done everything, literally when it comes to agriculture, that most of them are just myths, and so myths they're meant to be dispelled. So Pakistan के अंदर आपके पास hydroponics का एक typical model है, which I despise, but which is basically being replicated from abroad, which I think is inefficient. So you have fancy produce, iceberg lettuce, broccoli, colored capsicum, things like that. Then you have a very exclusive clientele. Then because iceberg lettuce and broccoli require a certain temperature, for example, आप 75 degrees या 75 degrees Fahrenheit ऊपर जाते हैं, broccoli का सर खुल जाता है, and then the produce quality drops. So अभी इसके अंदर ये issue आता है कि with all this, you end up becoming a very niche product for a very niche market in a country where people are making maybe less than $100, maybe $50 a month right now. So I've proposed a different model. Why not focus on staples? Why not focus on करेला जो लोगों को जिनको बच्चों को नहीं पसंद है? Why not focus on आम टमाटर जो हमारे सालनों में, हमारी तरकारियों में, हमारी इन चीजों में इस्तेमाल होता है? Why not produce it as efficiently and as effectively as possible? And it's something I've done for the past 3 to 4 years, right? We've done so much, right? We've grown tomatoes in the worst kind of conditions, in the worst kind of water conditions, weather conditions. And it happened, and it was fun. It was so much fun, and it was just so much rewarding. And the best thing is that when we did this, while changing our focus from fancy produce to staples, सस्ता खुराक हमने लोगों को दिया, and लोगों की दुआएं भी हमने कमाई और पैसे भी कमाए. So again, hydroponics अंदर सबसे बड़ा जो पहला myth आता है कि जी हमारे पास मटेरियल नहीं अवेलेबल है, चाइना से मंगवाएंगे, ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे. अगर आपके पास ड्रिप इरिगेशन अवेलेबल है पाकिस्तान में, अगर आपके पास ड्रिप लगी हुई है, 99% आपकी हाइड्रोपोनिक्स सेट होगी. You don't need anything else. ठीक है. The only modification you need to do is अगर आपके पास वेंचुरी पंप है, उसको आपको एक डोजिंग पंप लगाना है. 18 से 19 हज़ार रुपए की मशीन है, एंड आप 2 लगाने होंगे ऑन योर लाइन, एंड आपने इनलाइन ड्रिपर्स, जिसके अंदर लोकल जबान में कहते हैं कि जी ड्रिप लाइन्स के अंदर जो चिप लगी हुई है, उससे आपने ऑनलाइन ड्रिपर्स बनाने होंगे, एंड उससे आपने नोजल्स आगे लेके जानी होती है, एंड दैट इज इट, एंड योर हाइड्रोपोनिक रेडी. Materials की it's been really rewarding these past couple of weeks, but pumice, rock wool, vermiculite are all available in Pakistan. Pakistan locally produced करते हैं, everything is just there. ठीक है. So as such issue नहीं है कि जी आप अभी चाइना से सामान मंगवा रहे हैं या श्रीलंका से या wherever. ठीक है. Everything is locally available and you don't have to pay in dollars for it. हाँ, cocoa peat जो है, it is imported from Sri Lanka, and normally I would not recommend cocoa peat because जो quality पाकिस्तान में इस वक्त available है, it is not correctly buffered, so बहुत ज़्यादा आपको quality करनी है, बहुत ज़्यादा time लगता है just to get it properly. So nutrition is completely available, so आपको जो से भी 13 से 14 nutrients जितने चाहिए सारे मिल जाते हैं, whether it is EC fertilizers, whether it is molybdenum. You can find everything in the market, everything is available, and you can have मतलब जो मेरा अपना arrangement है कि जो मेरा supplier है, he offers me 5, 10 and 1 kilo bags for all the nutrients I require. So you know scenario है. Accessories, most of them easily fabricated. एक दो accessories import हो रही हैं जो आपके online drippers हैं and जो arrow drippers जिसे कहते हैं, which is fed into the media. So yeah, everything is available and you have everything to start up affordably in Pakistan, right? So सबसे बड़ी belief आती है, सबसे बड़ा एक जो एक limiting thought है कि जी hydroponics, you need super pure water and you need to be temperature controlled, and it's an extremely complicated procedure. It is not. I studied economics and वो भी मैंने पूरी नहीं की, ठीक है, and I could easily do this. It's अगर आप ppm को अगर आप मिलीग्राम में आप convert कर देते, that's it. बनू का जो पानी है जिसके अंदर आप TDS जो है इस वक्त 300 to 400 ppm चल रहा है, sorry TDS चल रहा है, that is, उसके अंदर मैंने टमाटर उगाए, उसमें मैंने खरबूजे भी उगाए हैं, उसमें करेले भी लगे हैं और बैंगन भी लगा है, and it's sold well and the taste quality has been amazing. Banu, again, because all our operations are in Banu, I experimented initially with temperature control, जो बनु में बहुत बड़ा एक hassle था कि temperature control आपने करना है, you have to spend so much time and money and infrastructure. बनु में तो total दिन में 4 घंटे बिजली होती है. You know, I had to install about 30 kilowatts worth of solar panels and equipment just so I can get things working. So, you know, abhi, you can't really do that. So what I did, I used Banu's normal water, thoda sa maine phosphoric acid के साथ alteration की, थोड़ा सा TDS calcium bicarbonate कम किए. You know, it did not affect the growing or the chemical combination, nutrient combination in any way. हमने बनु की open मौसम के अंदर, open जिधर इस वक्त peak हुआ था, it went above 94 degrees in बनु. मतलब इंसान पर जुल्म था अगर वो बाहर धूप में होता. उसमें हमने टमाटर और हमने आम staples उगाए and they worked well. And it's easy. It is so easy that, you know, I would literally be traveling and मैं अपनी वालदा से कहता था, मामा यार मामा आपने फलाना कैन है जिस पर क्या कहते हैं पोटेशियम नाइट्रेट है, उसमें से आपने 400 ग्राम अपने कंटेनर में डालना है और आपने शेक करना है, and that's it. And my mother, you know, I'm 32, she's 60, maybe older, who knows. And she managed my hydroponic farm, which is considered extremely complicated, on her own for a week, no issues whatsoever. And if she could do that in a place like Banu, then why not in a place like Lahore or Karachi or Kasur or Reptabad or Islamabad?
Perfect. That summarizes. Okay, we got the financial impact side.
I think, but yeah, let me just quickly wrap it up. I think I've gone above my time.
No, you still have a few minutes, but we have a couple of question and answers, but please go ahead and wind it up in 1 or 2 minutes.
Of course. So basically, per jo capex aapka aata hai to set up hydroponically per plant is 370 rupees. Aapka jo expenses aate hain, labor and everything comes down to 23-24 rupees. So assumptions bhi nahi hai, frankly, this is market intelligence from the past 10 years. Ke aapka 20 se 30 rupees aapka wholesale mein market mein mandi mein bik raha ho. Kyun? Because you're the freshest and you're the first one there and everyone respects your product. And I've sold, when the market was at 10 or 20 rupees, I've sold my produce at 40 rupees, 40, 50, 60 rupees, even in the on season, just based on the quality of the produce. Off season, everyone knows paise zyada hote hain. Besides the basic technology based models, I do believe that media processing, component manufacture is something that people should look into. And something that I'm doing myself and trying to figure out right now is that I'm trying to convert my tunnels, jo abhi 2 se 3 acre par hai. I'm trying to build solar. I'm building a power generation onto the roof, so that niche jo hai sabzi ug rahi ho, and upar jo hai hum log jo na bijli generate karo and hum reverse meter karke grid mein feed kar sakte hain. So I guess that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Zarak, for your presentation.
Hi everyone, my name is Zain Qureshi. I have about a decade of experience in insurance and in driving innovation in InsurTech in a listed insurance company. So based off of that experience, particularly in livestock insurance and the challenges associated with that, we came up with the idea for TAGMU. TAGMU uses artificial intelligence to assign unique identity to livestock, bade janwar sirf cows, buffaloes and the like, not goats and sheep. And the use case that we started with is insurance, but now we're expanding it out towards financing and advisory side as well. I hope everyone can see the screen.
Yes, we can. Your voice is shrilling a bit, so if you can kind of keep the mic
a bit close to the mic. I don't know if that's helping or not.
Anyway, we continue.
Okay. So one of the basic problems that we have in livestock insurance is coming to, you could say, 3 truths about an animal. Jab insurance ke claim ka case aata hai. Those truths are: is this the animal that we insured? Has an event occurred? Was this animal affected by that event? Currently, the process, you can go through the slide as well. The challenges around it are that all forms of identity are proxies. It's an ear tag, it's a collar, it's something around your hoof. Different iterations में गए, I think अभी शायद 6th generation है जो ear tag का use करते हैं. बेशक आप RFID वाला भी use कर लें, QR code based भी use कर लें. An ear tag is an ear tag. It's an external thing that is attached onto an animal. Very often you see or you hear कि जी ear tag जो है वो कहीं फंस गया, किसी झाड़ी में टूट गया. Collars के issues होते थे कि sometimes they would heat, they would be plastic or metal, or sorry, rubber with a metal bar inside, or coil, तो वो heat के issues भी होते थे उसमें. तो ear tags are in vogue right now. So this is a proxy measure. It is not something that is inherent in the animal. And इसकी वजह से ही इसका अगर abuse ना कहे misuse होता है, particularly in insurance claims, but also when obtaining financing for your animal. The typical thing is that a bank or microfinance institution person goes to where you live. वो देखते हैं कि जी कितने जानवर आपके खड़े हुए हैं. आप कहते हैं जी ये 5 मेरे हैं या ये 10 मेरे हैं और मुझे 1 या 2 और के लिए लोन चाहिए. वो अंदाजा लगाते हैं, कहते हैं ठीक है जी इस पे कोई टैग नहीं लगा हुआ, कोई कॉलर नहीं है, तो शायद इसके अगेंस्ट कोई भी और फाइनेंसिंग नहीं हुई भी. हाँ, वो जाके ECIBC से देख सकते हैं कि आपने क्या फाइनेंसिंग ली हुई है, but there is no proof to say कि जी इस एनिमल के अगेंस्ट है या इस एनिमल के अगेंस्ट है, एक्सेट्रा. उस एसेट को कोलैटरलाइज नहीं किया गया एंड वो जाकर उसका कुछ भी हेज करके एक लोन दे देते हैं. पोर्टफोलियो क्वालिटी इस चीज से बहुत इफेक्ट होती है कि जी ये जानवर एक्चुअली है किसका, एज विद एनी एसेट. एंड इस वजह से लाइवस्टॉक फाइनेंसिंग भी जरा सी अड़ी हुई रही है. The State Bank had to intervene and launch a product, which is basically a loan for buying a new animal. It's not a loan to collateralize your existing animals. like it would be for any other asset. So you're sort of tied down into that कि जी सिर्फ एक जानवर के लिए लोन मिलना है और किसी चीज के लिए नहीं मिलने वाला. So coming back to how this problem manifests itself, tagging is one issue. That's number one. Number two is managing the inventory. क्योंकि physical tags हैं, जगह जगह भेजने पड़ते हैं, tags break, tags get lost, sequencing उनकी काफी off होती रहती है, and इसी के साथ logistics challenges होते हैं. Someone has to physically go and attach those tags. If they're broken, they have to go again. When the animal dies, they have to physically visit, verify the tags, etc. On the financing side, like I said, it is just a marker. It doesn't show क्या lending हुई है, misinformation हो जाती है. For the insurance side, survey की cost, sending someone into your typical livestock insurance claim situation, the survey cost is more than it would be for anything in the city. इस वजह से काफी सर्वेज होते भी नहीं है, out of the way जगह होती हैं, और ये मसला एक ज़्यादा रहता है जिसकी वजह से इंश्योरेंस प्रोडक्ट भी इतनी अच्छी नहीं रहती. There are deductibles across the board. So अगर आपने ₹1,00,000 की बेसिस पे इंश्योरेंस का प्रीमियम दिया, आपको क्लेम 80,000 का मिलेगा, 80,000 का 20% डिडक्टेबल लगेगा, which I feel is a loss of value for the farmer. क्योंकि already we're talking about people who are closer to the bottom of the pyramid, और उसके अंदर भी आपको लाख की बेसिस पे पैसे लेके मिलने 80,000 हैं, उससे ज्यादा नहीं मिलने भी हैं तो उससे कम ही मिलने हैं, subject to some other terms and conditions. So that's the problem situation that we started with. The solution we saw is a digital tag लगाया जाए उसको using a smartphone, and we need it to be cloud-based. Cloud-based होने का की मकसद, of course, anything from a time perspective, चीजें जल्दी मिल जाएं आपको वो बेहतर है, physical inventory ना रखनी पड़े, ना physical उसकी data entry करनी पड़े. More than that, the important thing is that there are multiple players in the value chain here. आपका of course owner themselves or the animal, फिर the bank or the financing institution and the insurance company. अभी तो हम उनके respective लोग जो field में हैं उनको भी ना लें, so there's these three different participants in the value chain, and all three of these they suffer from some information asymmetry. जिस तरह हमने कहा ना कि जी इस जानवर को जाके टैग लगाया है, until the insurance company informs the bank कि ये वाला टैग फलाना जानवर को लगा है, they don't know which tag is going to be attached to it. Likewise, किस जानवर के against loan होना है, यानी कि जिसकी insurance होनी है, until the bank issues the loan and informs the insurance company, they don't know which animals they're covering and which animals they have to go and onboard. ये जो solution है, this dashboard addresses all of that. All three players or all three participants get the same information at the same time. तो asymmetry कोई नहीं रहती, और उसका फायदा ये है कि कल को आपके claims भी होने हैं, या even just for basic database management, everyone has the same information and there is no reconciling that has to be done, which can be sometimes a painful exercise. Literally going branch to branch, carrying bundles of papers कि जी आपके ये वाले हमें आए थे cover note, ये हो गए issue, ये confirmed हैं, ठीक है जी अब हम जाते हैं field में इनको tag लगाने. So the platform is split up into three things. There is the agent app, as we call it. इसके अंदर आप सारी data collection करते हैं और actual tagging of animals करते हैं. It works off of Android. It's on the Play Store. You register with us, and then you're allowed access to onboard animals. The dashboard is where everything flows. Insurance companies को अपना dashboard मिलता है, lenders या banks, MFIs उनको अपना एक dashboard मिलता है, owner को app का access मिलता है, and all of this is unified in the same way. Sorry. Then this is to show what the current tagging process is for insurance. So the current tagging process for insurers, policy issue hui, tag number assign hua, tagging officer goes to the customer, then they have to attach the tag to the animal, take a picture of the attached tag, go and fill out a tagging certificate, send that to the head office of the insurance company, and who then has to inform the bank and then add these to the file. It seems very simple when you put it on paper like this, but it is quite a cumbersome thing, and it stretches out the whole process unnecessarily in the current context now. इसके अंदर risks जो होते हैं, of course, ये tag आपने जब लगाना है तो it is a hole punch on the animal's ear, जिसका risk होता है, मतलब different people have different क्या कहें, हाथ की सफाई different होती है, they have different capabilities, जानवर की भी सूरत हाल different होती है, and there's a risk that the animal can get hurt, जिसकी वजह से trauma होता है. We've seen cases जहाँ reduced milk production हो जाती है. Normally for a few days, it can go longer. Animals can be fickle that way. But tag key breakage and snagging on bushes, like I mentioned earlier, that's an ongoing issue. फाइनेंशियल रिस्क ऑफ कोर्स इसके साथ है, अगर एनिमल फॉर सेल है तो कोई भी फिजिकल मार्क्स हो एनी सॉर्ट, वो इमीडिएटली होता है कि जिसकी वैल्यू कम हो जानी है उससे। और जो मिल्किंग एनिमल्स हैं वो तो डायरेक्टली, क्योंकि कैश बेस्ड रेवेन्यू वाली बात है, दूध बेचना होता है उनका, so that is an issue. On the admin side, maintaining the inventory of tags, making sure everyone has the same tag numbers in their respective ledgers. So the TAGMU process is you whip out the app. You just need mobile connectivity. We're actually working on an offline version these days, जहां आपको internet connectivity immediately भी जरूरत नहीं होगी. But you go to where the customer is, pull out the app. आपने geotag कर ली customer information. It's your basic KYC, शनाख्ती card number, name, father name, address, that sort of stuff. और आपने एनिमल की तस्वीरें भी वहां ले ली. The whole process is under about 3 minutes. The identity is assigned to the animal. You assign it a name. For some lenders, we're seeing that they attach the name of like a loan number. Some say कि जी CNIC number or some sequence. They assign some sequence to it. तो वो sequence वो लगा देते हैं and the data goes to the cloud. The insurance policy can be issued there and then, or it can be issued later. That is up to the particular arrangement जो उस वक्त की हुई है. The claims process right now for insurers can also be a bit cumbersome. सबसे पहले तो जानवर को कुछ हो गया है, the customer informs the lender. Typically, क्योंकि direct insurance clients कम होते हैं फिलहाल, it is largely through financiers, through lenders. So वो बताते हैं कि जी अपने regional RM को या किसी branch manager को जो भी point of contact है कि जी ये event हो गया है, they inform the insurance company and they send the documentation, and the physical tag is either removed, मतलब हम इस सिनारियो में कह रहे हैं कि जहां उसको लगा हुआ था टैग जानवर को ये, या in some cases के टूटे हुए भी आ जाते हैं, they just say कि it got broken and that's that. The insurance company appoints a surveyor, the surveyor visits and then they verify कि the animal has actually died. They will ask के veterinary report हो या death certificate हो, something of that sort. And then they send it for filing in where it needs to be filed with the insurance company and then to the lender. इसके अंदर जो risks हैं, the missing tag is already there, documentation and logistics are one of the major points. You don't get a lot of livestock surveys done, and that's why the insurance product is pricey for what benefit it actually gives. And you see claims being cut down. For example, जो 80,000 वाली मैंने example दी थी, 80 भी नहीं, उसे 60 कर देंगे, 55, 50, because we just have too much doubt in this particular case because we haven't been able to establish कि ये actually event occur हुआ and was this the right animal. So that is a bit of a pain point for farmers. I think there is value lost. TAGMU में claim process यही है कि the officer visits the customer. We're working on this कि owner भी ये चीज खुद ही कर सकें. There's some hitches in that, but they take a picture of the animal, verify the identity, take some ancillary pictures showing that the animal has actually died, and that's it. The claim is sent to the lender. The lender just verifies with their books और उन्होंने आगे insurance company को भेज दिया. जब ये सारा हो गया है, the insurance company has no reason not to pay the claim, and we're seeing a cut down of claim from 1 month to about 3 days. That's the SLA that we're working on. That's the purely on the product side. What TAGMU does.
Yeah, just in the interest of time, Zain,
Yeah.
we will.
This is pretty much it. This is pretty much the end of it.
Yeah, so what we will do then?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll just pause here.
Sustainability, and I think the coming slides will verify those. So we have a very strong business case for the lands on the coastal belt of Sindh, which is Sajawal, Badin, and Thatta. I would not say Thatta right now because the land value has increased a lot and it has taken on an industrial case use. So Thatta and Thatta is out, but Badin and Sajawal are very good opportunities for agri ventures, and they're usually overlooked. And the reason is there's a perceived low fertility on away short-term investors, resulting in spillover effect for genuine long-term investors. The word on the street is that Sajawal Badin is loss model. This has a domino effect of driving away with human capital, which is the game changer. And human capital is critical for innovations in land use, especially renewable energy-based captive power. Why renewable energy? Because the coastal belt has a twin effect advantage of being both solar power generation and wind power generation, because the wind factor is very strong here. There is a lack of interest in integrating harvest and post-harvest. These need to be built into the business model from the start. Some of my ideas and some of my future slides address this to some extent. The investors and investees are geographically dispersed, which leads to trust deficit, contract enforcement issues, and hence some third parties required, like the government plays a third party role, litigation, some arbitration. These are all third party efforts in guaranteeing that the contracts are enforced at both ends. So people say the opportunity is nowhere. That's one way to look at it. We feel that the opportunity is low fertility, yes, but it's the long-term horizon. That means that the investment model is very backloaded. It requires upfront land engineering and community infrastructure sharing. This evens out the low cost of entry because land prices are much cheaper than the more established agriculture belt. So if you were listening in on Bilal Shah's banana farming opportunity, investment opportunity, so the land prices are very high over there because that is the breadbasket of Sindh. Similarly, a lot of Punjab is crowded out right now because the cost of lands have really risen, and they have evened out any capital gain opportunity that remains to be harvested. The investees are driven more towards impact-driven operations and impact-driven management. Nowadays, we see a shift of people of the newer generations who prioritize impact-driven operations, and they would like to be part of a greater cause than just the financial kick of it. If you orient your plantations that require on-site post-harvest facilities as a must, so this opens up a wealth of options and a wealth of returns. There are various opportunities for captive power generation through solar and wind. Your fertility will be regenerated. You can make model farms so that the community is impacted and they eventually feed back into your business model. This is very critical. You get post-harvest opportunities and you have impact-driven operations. You need to bring in innovation and contract enforcement because apparently there is, and it seems that this trend is not reversing. There is a breakdown in government-led contract enforcement. Litigation courts means that your business case or your valid claim lies in court for decades on end. So I would say that the opportunity is now here rather than nowhere. The opportunity is great. And what are our milestones? We started off in 2015. We had a limited exposure operations kickoff, which were driven by pre-seed funding. After 3 years, in 2018, we went on site expansion. We progressed and increased our acres. We continued our limited exposure in terms of operations because we still felt that our learning curve was steep, and we needed to learn more before we went in with serious money. Again, this was a pre-seed funding driven initiative. In 2021, we did our first site acquisition through a Series A funding. We acquired 100 acres, and right now we're consolidating the site. In 2023, we intend to consolidate the site further for post-harvest operations, which again I've highlighted earlier in my slides. And in 2024, we have a call option for further 200 acres acquisition, which we will then decide whether we want to go ahead with it or not. So for just a sense check, am I visibly and audio? Is my audio visual okay so far?
Yeah, absolutely. That was good.
Okay, thank you. So we have consolidation and expansion plans in place. So the site utilization opportunities, this is for the audience, is agroforestry. The beautiful part of this is it is inflation indexed. Wood is always in style for any use. You see, you have very strong demand for wood based on your foreseen macroeconomic indicators of Pakistan, which unfortunately have not been very positive over the last 1.5 years. So I don't see the per capita income generally rising up, which means that it will be a subsistence level economy. You do not see a lot of gas and heating systems coming in place for the industry, for domestic consumers, which means that wood for fuel, for industry, and for domestic use will always be in vogue for the next foreseeable future. This has a minimum 4-year cycle, but the year-on-year returns are averaged out to be very stable. So if you were to convert that into a year-on-year basis, you will see it a very, very lucrative and a feasible opportunity to go into it. But that only makes itself available. The cash flow will come in after 4 years, and the choice of your species determines the cycle that you will get. So if you go on very basic species, it will be a minimum of 4 years. But if you go into furniture wood, the timeline, the cycle goes beyond 7 to 8 years. Now that is a purely investor-driven appetite as to how long they're willing to wait, and it's a risk-return opportunity. The 8 year cycle has very, very good returns. So this part of our site utilization is risk-mitigated stable returns. We want to be some sort of, in terms of financial terms, you would call this our fixed income return. The second opportunity is margin-oriented cropping, rice and oilseed combinations. We are going to focus on 2 crops at the moment. We do not want to get carried away by ambition on 3 crops. We intend to gradually shift away from chemical inputs. We believe that lower usage of chemicals will improve your margins, because again, the petrochemical driven agriculture inputs are rising day by day, and we need to have more sustainable methods of farming, especially no-till farming and raised bed farming. These are all very, very good and proven methods. But given that this is a new concept, it has been proven very effective in Punjab and Upper Sindh. But the soil texture is slightly different in Lower Sindh, in especially the coastal belt. So I would say this with cautious optimism that we will adopt this, but in a stage-wise and a staggered manner, and not a complete shift, because we do not want to disrupt our cash flows and our business model. But since we will own the lands, this sort of sustainable farming where you have a raised bed and no-till farming oriented approach is useful only when you have your own land holding, at least for the coastal belt, because the soils are such that they take time to correct themselves in order to become in order to ready themselves for no-till farming. We intend to converge to minimization of inputs, have our own seed, develop to whatever we can our own fertilizers, use our own pesticides, make our own pesticides using the materials available, so on and so forth. The more you spend on site infrastructure, the more stable and the more assured you are of your business model. So it is a combination of land engineering, data-driven interventions, definitely mechanization, because if you want to scale up, you need to invest in mechanization and post-harvest capability. We do not intend to finance our subsequent crop from the returns of the previous crop. So we can afford to hold our crop until we see that the pricing is correct for our exit. So this is a capex versus opex approach. People who who are unable to focus on the capex end up spending more on the operating expenses. We feel that the capex approach is very front loaded. It makes you spend a lot upfront, but then you are done. You're very secure in your operational expenses, and the business case is always in your favor if you can manage to focus on the capital expenditure upfront. Now, this is where we feel that the opportunities are immense. This is our forward-looking opportunity. The previous slides are those which we are already executing. So we intend to incentivize the system in such a way that we crowdsource our dairy farming. We have a structure in place where your surrounding communities can come and park their cattle. A more structured environment will always improve your yields. You will have crowdsourced access to veterinary doctors, best practices. You will have AI-driven approaches towards better dairy farming. So it's like a farming cooperative, but without the glamour associated with that label. They will be. We think that a modular approach will be better, because there needs to be a proof of concept for the farm, for your community to see it worthwhile to invest their cattle with you rather than doing it alone. So once the early adopters gather pace, then it takes can scale up and add on more sheds and create more space and see whatever is more suitable given your community dynamic.
Shoaib, if you can wind up in 1 minute.
Okay. So your downstream aggregation, upstream aggregation, these are all opportunities there. So your margins will strengthen once each cycle is experienced. So lather, rinse, repeat. Another opportunity that we see is you can go into aromatic and medicinal herbs. You can go to essential oils distillation, active ingredient aggregation. The model, which if you see this highlighted area, the boxed approach, you can replace medical dairy
Yeah,
farming.
Shoaib, we'll have to wind up here.
All
Just
right.
in the interest of
Done.
time.
Okay.
Is there
Thank you for this.
anything? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay,
Sorry
I'll
to
just go
cut
on
you.
to my final slide.
Sure.
Why we are here? What now? We are open for mentoring or for advisors, cross-pollination opportunities, upstream, downstream collaborations. You can go to subcontracting, outsourcing, and farmer cooperatives. I'm reachable on my email and on my WhatsApp. Thanks, Saad, for the opportunity, and it's great to be here.
Thank you so much for a great presentation.
Yeah. Thanks, Saad, for organizing this opportunity, and thanks to all for attending the event. My name is Naveed Alam, and I am the Chief Executive Officer of WaterSprint and InFarmer. Our mission at WaterSprint is to safeguard the finite natural resources of the world through innovative consultancy services and digital technological products. InFarmer is our such a product which is outcome of the 3 years of R&D. And our mission at InFarmer is to make the lives of the farmer easy so that they can make sustainable production, earn high profit. And we at InFarmer, we actually translate the science into action and integrate different technologies and make the science available to the farmers in a language even illiterate farmers can understand it. Now I hand over to my colleague Fatima, who will present the InFarmer to you. Thanks.
Fatima, if you can unmute yourself.
Okay, hello, assalamualaikum everybody. This is Fatima from InFarmer. I'm the marketing manager. So today the point of discussion of this agenda of today's meeting will be introduction of InFarmer, the key components, the importance, and the application demo and feature. And lastly, we'll have a question answer session. So moving forward with InFarmer. So as our CEO already talked about what is InFarmer. So InFarmer is basically a digital technological product of WaterSprint, which is support farmer and facilitate the organization for the adaptation and implementation of sustainable farming practices. So we uses ICT and cloud-based technology provide satellite data, scientifically compile information to the end users. So moving forward, as I told you, this is the complete online solution for agriculture, water, and risk management. And we have this data is available 24/7 that you can get information, data, and advisory to smallholders. This is remotely monitors the data. And we are the award-winning technology by BCI and IDH. And it's also used to increase yield, expected yield and profits. Oh, sorry. So our superpower, our mission is to making farms fit right inside your pockets. Okay, so as this graph show, graph show the growth of a crop, which has different health stages, and between these two lines, it's healthy, and if it's exceed or get beyond, it become unhealthy. So the red lines show that it's unhealthy, and green show it's healthy. And so through this, you can this is basically a crop health. So in this application, we have a key component, 3 component, which is decision support system, e-training program, and the most important is parametric insurance. So what is decision support system? So this smart and integrated system uses remote sensing and geographic information system to produce up-to-date knowledge, which formulates suggestion and send message to end users. The farmer training program is to improve skills in agriculture and provide real-time information. This will not only improve the skills, but also create awareness to the local production, save time and earns more money. And the parametric insurance, this is very important part of our application, which provide industry-based parametric coverage against climate related risk, and it pays the amount automatically when an event is triggered without any physical verification. So yeah, so as you all know, there's a current situation going on in Pakistan, and as you can see, the Sindh, Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Balochistan has affected, this area has affected, and according to BBC, around more than 7 lakh houses damages, 1600 plus people are injured, and 2 million acre of crop has been affected. So how InFarmer is playing the part in this thing? So as we provide the parametric insurance and play an important role in climate change, so we provide parametric insurance through different variables, which include heat waves, flood, and wind. So when it exceeds the limit, they automatically farmers get the insurance coverage. And as you and there's a amount, like if farmers has to get the for example, insurance, he or she has to pay 500 to 1,000 per acre. And if the event is triggered, they will get the around 50,000 insurance through Salam Takaful. Okay, so there's are some of the app features. We provide training. We have added another, recently added the feature, which is text to speech, who the farmer who can't, illiterate and can't read, so they can listen to the advisories. We have weather forecast, again, the parametric insurance. We provide crop water requirement, also advisories through sustainable production through our advanced technology setup. Moving forward, here's a quick demo of our application. So this is the main page, and this is how you select the area. And then through this, the farmer get the advisories, and as well as we have Urdu and English available in both language. And here's the step. So as you can see, there's an e-training as well. And there's a insurance part, Salam Takaful, with the collaboration with Salam Takaful. You add the relevant information. So how you can basically install, you have to install the app, sign up, create an account, create as on the top right, you can see add farm. So you have to add your farm wherever is located, select the area, add relevant information. For example, what's the name, the soil type. So all the information you will get it through when you will install it. Then through that, you can get the advisories related to irrigation, health, and expected yields. You can watch our training videos, as well as you can can get the crop insurance. Moving forward, sorry.
हमारे मॉडल और सैटेलाइट से हासिल करदा इतलात के मुताबिक आपके फार्म मलबूल की फसल की मौजूदा सूरत-हाल को देखते हुए उसकी सेहत 87% तमीना बख्श है। बराए मेहरबानी फसल की सेहत का बेहतर जायजा लेने के लिए मुतासिरा हिस्से की तस्वीर अपलोड करें। मज्जानी बितफान में एडवाइजरी डेटेड 23 सितंबर 2022।
Okay, so there is another new feature which I have told you before. We have text to speech, and which is specially designed to for illiterate farmers. Right now it's available on Android, but soon it will be available on App Store as well. So moving forward, there's some exciting things coming soon on our application, which is a loan feature. Then we have pest and disease detection. Then we have agriculture news and alerts. So these are the coming soon feature. We are working on it, and soon we will going to upload on our application by this year or next year, inshallah. So thank you, everyone. If you have any question, and also do follow our page on Instagram, LinkedIn, InFarmer. and yeah, and download our app as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think you went like 4 minutes short, so that's good. It gives you 4 minutes for question and answers. There are a couple of questions that have come up. Atif Majid is saying that if there is a cloud or rain, does the RS efficacy get impacted?
So is this question to you, Saad?
No, to you. To
Yeah.
you.
So so basically, so we are currently using different satellites. So for example, Sentinel-2. So when there is a cloud, definitely we cannot see the things on the ground, but there is a Sentinel-1 radar-based satellites, and we are also using them, and then the cloud cannot affect the images. So we have the information available almost around the whole cropping pattern. Thank you.
Perfect. And the source of weather forecast, what is the source?
So currently we have a global and regional circulation models. We collect the information from satellite sources, global data sources like ERFI, CHIPS, and also Pakistan Meteorological Department. Then we simulate them using by our own climate models. And we have cross-check regularly at the back end, and then we provide weather information and forecast according to the farm location.
Perfect. Khalid Shamsher has a comment. He says that your software is too broadly focused. It is trying to cover everything in farming. Sorry. So thank you everyone for attending the session. Today we had these 4 presentations that we talked about at the start, and hopefully these monthly meetups will continue in the future, and we will get to hear from other speakers as well who come up and present. So thank you once again.